Hey, afternoon to you, actually. It's 2:30 in the afternoon where I'm at. Hope your Monday has been good. Hope your week is off to a good start and that this is going to be a productive week for you. What I want to get into is the idea of adapting. So today, a couple of conversations that I've had here at the church, we've been discussing what are some of the adjustments we're going to need to make when things open up again. One of the things we were talking about in particular is how our online audience has really expanded, and how do we make sure that we serve that online audience well in the days ahead, not just the people who are here. So that's a conversation we were having. And then I met with our ministry students here a little while ago, and I was asking them, in light of the things that you're seeing currently, how are you adapting some of the things that you're doing? Whether that's some of your future plans, some of the things you're doing currently, are there other things you're bringing into the mix? How are you adapting to these changes? Because what's interesting is we all want things to open back up, and obviously we're going to start to see some of that. What we don't know is how often disruptions will come, what those are going to look like, what limitations are going to be in place. Are certain businesses going to be able to come back? Certain employers going to be able to come back? Are employees going to be able to get the hours or the salaries that they had prior? Those are all unknown things that people are going to have to work through. But here's the thing I want to challenge you in, is the time to begin working through that isn't when you get to that dilemma. The time to work through that is before you get to that dilemma, and already have a plan of action in place, already have some ideas in mind of the adjustments that you're going to make with those changing seasons. So, in our household, there are some things we've adapted in, and let me kind of explain this a little bit. So, um, we typically have been people who just go to the store for everything, that we buy. Well, one of the things we started doing more and more of, even heading into this, was doing more direct to the house type shopping, to where we order online, things are delivered. One of the smartest moves we ended up making, not knowing that this was ahead of us, is we started buying all of our household goods from a manufacturer and having those sent direct to us. So, things like hand sanitizer and stuff like that, that tends to be somewhat hard to come by at Sam's or Walmart or Target or wherever. We've had no problem keeping on hand because we've just been having it delivered direct to our door from the manufacturer. So, one of those things that ended up being really smart. Didn't know that's exactly what we were doing, but that adaptation has worked well. Done the same thing with some of our health and wellness. So there are certain, vitamins, supplements that I take, that I just get direct from the manufacturer, instead of having to go hunt through stores and weave through people to make all those things happen. Other things that we've adapted. We've never grown a garden, never even thought about growing a garden, but we decided here over the weekend, hey, let's start a garden. It's the right time of year. And again, one of the first weeks of all of this coronavirus stuff, we went to go buy salad, and there wasn't any prepackaged salad available. So, instead of waiting for someone to provide that solution, we've just decided to take that on ourselves. And there's other, adaptations that we've chosen to make. We've chosen to change some of our habits, some of the things we do day to day, just simply so that we're positioned better to work through any uncertainties in the environment. And that doesn't mean we can plan for everything. And at the same time, it doesn't mean that we negate trusting in God. But let me just say that this isn't about becoming self reliant. God still has to provide. The garden doesn't grow if God doesn't provide. The manufacturer still doesn't manufacture if God doesn't provide. So So it's not removing that faith component at all. Just saying, though, he's also given us wisdom, he's given us discernment. So, how do we position ourselves to work in a way that is much more conducive to the environment we're in? So, again, some of the things that I've continued to say to you, and I'll continue to say to you, is if you are solely dependent upon one source, whether that's for your income, your food, your household goods, your faith community. There can be any number of things, but if you're just a one trick pony, meaning that you just have one avenue for those things, then maybe you need to consider what are some other ways to make that happen. And even like with the faith community, if your church doesn't open up, do they have online services? Are there other churches that are teaching similar to your church where you could plug in and get those things? With your shopping, are there online resources where you could pick up groceries from? Are there online resources you could pick up household goods from? With your income, do you have some hobbies, skill sets, or other things that you can monetize? Even if your job stays stable or it comes back, or whatever your situation may be, just so you've got other avenues of diversification. And I think that's probably the bigger word we're looking for here, is can you diversify your resources so that you've got the ability to tap into other things when you need to? So, just a few thoughts for you this afternoon. Hope you have a great afternoon, and the rest of your day is amazing. And if you've got comments, if there's topics you want to go over, by all means, put those in the comments, and we'll cover those in the days to come. Thanks.